Hi, this is Leslie Fightmaster. This is Yoga for Beginners, and we'll begin lying down on your back with your knees bent. I put this sequence together for beginners because I thought right around New Year's that it might be a nice time to incorporate a yoga practice. So we'll begin just breathing. So start to lengthen your breath in and out through your nose. In yoga, the breath is very important, and we practice what's called Ujjayi Pranayama. It actually means victorious breath. So the breath, again, is in and out through the nose. And as you start to just lengthen the breath and become aware of it, also soften your shoulders away from your ears, soften your jaw, and you can also close your eyes. So the easiest way to learn the Ujjayi Pranayama is to take a nice long breath in through your nose and then exhale out of your mouth like you're fogging a mirror. Good. And then do that once again. Inhale through the nose. Exhale like you're fogging the mirror. And then halfway through, close your mouth. And then you can feel that little constriction in the back of the throat. So we want to try and keep that little sound as you breathe. On your next inhale, hug your right knee into your chest and just start to circle the right ankle in one direction. And then switch your direction. Again, keeping that nice steady breath in and out through the nose. Extend your left leg out onto the floor and just lengthen that leg out. Point the toes to the ceiling and firm the thigh. Inhale, extend the right leg up toward the ceiling and hold on behind your thigh. Or you can even reach down by your calf or your ankle if you want to go in a little bit deeper. The knee doesn't have to be straight, whatever works. Get a nice long breath here. And then bend the knee and hold on to your right shin. As you exhale, start to open your right leg to the right. This little opening of the hip and the inner thigh. And then with your left hand, press your left hip down just to remind that hip to stay connected to the floor. Inhale, bring the leg back to center. Exhale, release. And then draw your left knee into your chest. Again, circling the ankle in one direction. And reversing. And then keep that leg hugging in as you extend your right leg out onto the floor and reach the left leg up toward the ceiling. So you're holding on behind the left thigh again, extending the leg up. The knee doesn't have to be straight. And just lengthen it out as much as you can. And then start to bend the knee and then hug it in toward the chest, and then holding with the left leg, we'll extend the left leg over to the left, again opening the outer hip, inner thigh, your right hand onto your right thigh, and then draw the left knee back in, give it a little hug, and release it down. Point your toes up to the ceiling from the legs, and then inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. As you reach the arms up, notice if your shoulders creep up around the ears, and if they do, soften them away. Also, if your rib cage pops up, soften that away too. Tailbones lengthening toward the heels. And then we'll exhale the arms down by your sides and hug both knees into your chest. So give your knees a hug. And then rolling off to your right side, press your left hand into the floor. Slowly come up with your head coming up last. This is a very safe way to sit up. We don't want to just jar up quickly. And then we'll come right onto the hands and knees. Table position with your wrists under the shoulders and the knees underneath your hips. As you inhale, you're going to extend and bring your heart forward. Lift your chin, lift your tailbone slightly. As you exhale, around the upper back, bring your chin in toward your chest, pushing away from the floor. Inhale, bring your heart through the gates of the arms, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, tuck in round, chin toward chest, lift the belly and the ribs. Once again, inhale, coming forward, broadening the collarbones. And exhale, tuck and round, chin toward chest. Inhale, heart forward, soften the shoulders, soften the jaw. Exhale, round the upper back just like a Halloween cat. Inhale forward, now coming to a neutral spine. Keep the belly and ribs drawn in as you extend the right leg straight back behind you. So lift it from the inner thigh, the outer hip drops down. As you're ready, extend the left arm forward, just a breath here. Keeping the belly pulled in, and then we'll release it back to table. And now the left leg back. Straight behind you, lift it from the inner thigh. Squeeze your outer hip, right hip in, and extend the right arm to the front, lifting the belly and the ribs. Try to keep your hips nice and level, and then set it back down. And taking your hips back to your heels for a child's pose. And child's pose is a wonderful pose to rest in at any time. Extend your arms forward so that the elbows are straight and spread your fingers nice and wide. Keep the hands just where they are as you come up onto the knees. Tuck your toes and stretch back. This is downward facing dog. Just for a breath here. It's getting used to being upside down, getting the weight into the hands. And then knees back down, stretch back into child's pose. And again, keeping the hands just where they are. Soften the shoulders away from the ears. Come up onto the knees again. Toes tuck under. Lift the hips high up and stretch your chest back toward your thighs. And just gaze between your feet, making sure your feet are hips width apart and your arms are shoulders distance. And then once again, to the knees. Take a little break. Child's pose. Let your head rest down, and if it doesn't reach the floor, no worries. Just let it go wherever. And if your hips don't touch your heels, that's no problem either. You can keep your hips up off the heels. Once more, to the knees, tuck the toes, stretch back. This time, we'll bend one knee and then the other just to bicycle your legs. So this helps to stretch out your hamstring muscles. Keep your low belly lifted as you move, bending one knee and the other. And come way up onto your tiptoes on your next breath in. Bend your knees, bring your belly right back toward your thighs, hips way high. The spine is extended as you stretch out the legs. And look to the hands, bend your knees, and step as many steps as you like to take your feet to your hands. On your inhale, hands to shins, flat back, look up. As you exhale, fold in. Bend the knees if you need to. On your inhale, root down, reach all the way up, and then exhale your hands to your heart. Quarter sun salutes. Inhale, circle the arms. Oh, first, before we do that, we're going to stand in Tadasana. So this is a very important pose. We want the feet either together, toes touching, heels slightly apart, or hips width apart, whichever is more comfortable. And then as you stand, press down into the base of your big toes and little toes, inner outer heels. Pull your belly in, reach your tailbone down. The legs are nice and firm. Broaden across your collarbones. Lift your chest up. Chin is level with the floor. And then for a moment, we're going to lift the shoulders, bring them up, back, down, and then just let them soften. And now for quarter sun salutes. Inhale, sweep your arms out, around, and up. As you lift up through the arms, soften the shoulders away from the ears. Ribs are drawn in. Exhale, bring your arms back around your sides. And again, inhale, palms facing up as you reach the arms out, around, and up. Stretch up, and if you can't keep your arms straight, just keep them out to the sides a little bit. Exhale, bring the arms back down. And again, inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, draw the front ribs in. And exhale, bringing the arms down by your sides again. And let's add a forward fold here. Inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Stretch up, soften the ribs, soften the shoulders. Exhale, hinge from your hips. Your hips go back as you come forward with a nice flat back. Pull your belly in, bend the knees as needed. Inhale, hands to shins, look up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward again. Eventually you'll want to straighten the legs, but take it easy your first time or first few times. Inhale, reaching out, around, and up. And exhale, back to Samastitihi, which means steady balance. Again, inhale, the arms reach. Exhale, hinging from the hips, forward folding. Let your head just hang down. Inhale, half lift, heart forward, belly in. Exhale and fold. Inhale, press down through the feet, reach out, around and up, look up, lengthen. Exhale, hands to heart. Inhale again, reach the arms up, palms facing up, shoulders soften away from the ears. Exhale, hinge from the hips, folding forward, nice flat back. Inhale, lengthen, look up, show off your collarbones to the front of the room. As you exhale, this time bend the knees, plant the palms, step the right foot back, and then step your left foot back, plank pose, just like the top of a push-up. Take the knees down, keep your belly lifted, shift forward about an inch lower, slowly down, everything touching at once. Inhale, peel the chest up on the tops of the feet, shoulders away from the ears, cobra. Exhale back to the knees and tuck your toes, lift your hips back into downward facing dog. This is the beginning of a sun salutation. So take a breath here. Reach your heels down, stretch back, getting length through the spine, look to the hands, and just step your feet up, as many steps as you like. Inhale again, halfway up, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold forward, let your head hang. Inhale, root down through the feet to rise all the way up. And exhale, hands to the heart. And again, inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, fold forward, nice flat back, let your head hang. Inhale, keep your belly lifted, look up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, left foot steps back, and then the right foot, plank pose, top of a push-up. This time, knees can be up or down, shift forward, lower slowly to the floor, try to have everything touch at once. Inhale for cobra, again, peel the chest away, shoulders away from the ears, chest forward, lower down, and then tuck the toes under. And if you like, upward facing dog pose. So thighs and knees are off the floor if you're taking up dog, and then lift the hips, downward dog. If upward facing dog doesn't feel right, stick with the low cobra pose. It's a wonderful pose to give you strength in the back. Look up, step or jump feet to hands. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way up, lengthen. Exhale, the hands to your heart. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your hips, Utkatasana, like you're sitting in an imaginary chair. Exhale, folding forward and then straighten your legs. Inhale, look up, lengthen. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the palms, step back to plank pose, top of a push-up, and lower knees can be up or down. You can hover halfway, inhale into up dog. If that doesn't work, come all the way down to the floor, take cobra. Exhale, lift the hips, downward facing dog. This time, inhale, float your right leg up. As you exhale, step it all the way up by the hand. If it doesn't make it, say it makes it halfway, pick it up, put it forward. Good. And then take your left knee to the floor for low lunge. Pat up the knee if it needs any padding. Make sure your right knee, your front knee is right over the ankle. And then you can keep your fingers on the floor or rest your hands on your thigh or reach all the way up and sink the hips. So you're getting into your hip flexor. Exhale, hands down, tuck your toes, step back, just downward facing dog, all the way back. And we'll do the other side. Inhale to float the left leg back and up, lifting it from the inner thigh. As you exhale, look forward and start to step it up. Again, if it doesn't make it there, no worries. You just pick it up, put it forward. Take the left knee down, make sure the right knee down, make sure your left knee is over the ankle. Hands can stay on the floor or rest your hands on your thigh. Or if you want to add the arms, it's a little deeper stretch. Reach up, pull your ribs and belly in and up. Tailbones lengthening down toward the floor. Soften the shoulders. Exhale, hands down, tuck the back toes. Downward dog. Take a nice long breath here. Anytime you want to take a break, you can take your knees down. Just like this for child's pose. It's always an option. You can rest your head on your hands if your head doesn't easily reach the floor. Take a couple breaths here, and then once again, Extend the arms forward up to the knees, tuck the toes, stretching back into down dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana is the name in Sanskrit. And look forward, bend the knees, step, or if you want to hop, you can even hop the feet forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, again, chair pose, reaching up. As you exhale, come all the way to standing. So we're going to practice balancing. So grounding down through the legs, find a spot to focus on. It helps with your balance. And ground down through the right leg. Pick up your left foot. You can take your foot anywhere above or below the knee. You can take it to the inner ankle, the shin, or to the thigh. Bring your hands to your heart center as you settle in. And when you're ready, reach your arms up. Squeeze your right hip in towards center. Lift the belly, lift the ribs. Try and drop your left hip down any amount. And just breathe here. Soften the shoulders and jaw. And then exhale, slowly release. It is challenging to balance, so don't worry if you don't get it right away. And it's always different on different days, so never take it personally. Left leg down, pick up your right foot, take it anywhere above or below your knee for tree, Vrikshasana pose. And again, find that spot to focus on as you settle in. When you're ready, inhale and sweep your arms out, around, and up. Squeezing your left hip in towards center this time. Drop the right hip down a little bit if you can. Soften the shoulders, the jaw. Keep your breath steady and then exhale. And release the arms and then release the leg back to Samastitihi. From here, take a quarter turn to your right and we'll step the feet out nice and wide. So with your feet out, take your arms to a T for a moment. If you could grow really long fingers, they would touch your ankles. That's how wide you want your legs to be. And then turn your right leg all the way up from the hip. Bring your left toes in slightly. Your front heel should line up with the back arch. Inhale the arms to a T. Exhale, bend the right knee over the ankle. On your inhale, straighten the right leg, reach up through the arms, soften the shoulder blades. Exhale, bend the knee over the ankle. Again, inhale, straighten the leg, reaching up, synchronizing the breath with the movement. Exhale, bend the knee over the ankle. Knee should be tracking in line with the second toe. Inhale, straighten the leg, release your arms. We'll do the other side. Feet to parallel. Left leg turning out, right toes in slightly. Line up front heel and back arch. Inhale, arms to a T. Exhale, bend the knee over the ankle. Lift your low belly here. Stretch out through the arms. Inhale, straighten the leg, reach the arms up. And exhale, bending in. Gaze over the fingertips. And again, inhale, straighten the leg, reaching up. And exhale, bend the knee eventually to a 90-degree angle. Inhale, straighten the leg, release the arms. Feet to parallel, hands onto the hips. And then right leg out again. Bring your left toes in slightly for Trikonasana, triangle pose. So shift your hips and then bring them back to center. And same thing, shift the hips. This time lean your torso over your right leg and then come back to center. One more time, shift your hips, lean your torso over the leg, roll the top shoulder open, then reach your right arm forward and just let it drop down wherever it lands. Reach your left arm straight up. So your shoulders should be in line with each other. Widen across the collarbones, drop the shoulder blades away from the ears. Look down at the front foot, inhale, back to center. And feet to parallel. We'll do the other side. Left leg turns all the way out. Right toes in slightly. Still lined up heel to arch. Shift your hips. Inhale, bring them to center. Exhale, shift. Lean over the front thigh. Roll your top shoulder open. Inhale, center. And exhale, shift the hips, leaning forward. And then now extend the left arm out. Reach it out. Let it drop down wherever it goes. Right arm up. So you're trying to move your front hip underneath you as you lean your torso over the thigh. Press weight into the base of the big toe of the left foot. Look down at the foot. Inhale all the way to center. And now feet to parallel, hands onto the hips. Widen across the collarbones. Look up, inhale and lengthen. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold. Take your fingertips to the floor. Then inhale, half lift. Nice flat back. Keep that length in the spine as you exhale, crown of the head down toward the floor. It doesn't have to touch. Lift the shoulders away from the ears. If your elbows do bend, make a nice 90-degree bend. And inhale again, halfway up. Keep the belly lifted. Exhale your hands to hips. Inhale, come up with a flat back. And then heel toe, or you can hop your feet together and come to the front of the mat. Back to Tadasana. Inhale, lift the arms up, look up. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, bend the knees, plant your palms, step back, plank pose, top of a push-up. And Chaturanga, either halfway or all the way down. Inhale, open the chest, shoulder blades down. Exhale, and stretch back to downward facing dog. Look to the hands, bend the knees, and just stepping forward, sit down onto your mat, and then lie back for bridge pose. So feet are hips width apart. Make sure the outer edges of the feet are parallel. Take your arms by your sides. Pull your belly in. Then inhale, press down into the heels. Lift your hips, the low back, the mid back, maybe the upper back. And then as you exhale, lower down one vertebra at a time. And we'll do that again. Inhale, pressing down. Lift up slowly and add your arms, reaching them overhead. Tailbone reaching toward the backs of the knees. Exhale, bring your arms down. Slowly lower one vertebra at a time. And again, inhale. Reach the arms, lift the hips, the low back, the mid back, maybe the upper back. Spiral your thighs in toward each other. Exhale and slowly lower. Inhale, root down through the feet and lift up, stretching the arms overhead one more time. Get nice and long. And exhale, arms down by your sides, lower one vertebra at a time. On the next inhale, we'll lift up. This time, roll the shoulders under and maybe clasp the hands. If that doesn't feel right, just keep your palms pressing into the floor. Spiral your thighs in toward each other like you're holding a ball between your knees and reach your tailbone toward your heels. Keep the chin away from the chest. Breathe into your chest. Just take another couple breaths. Releasing slowly, one vertebra at a time, coming down, and then hug the knees into the chest. Rocking here, side to side, right to left, left to right. Feels good on the low back. And then I'm gonna go and take a strap. So if you don't have a yoga strap, no worries. You can use a towel, you can use a tie, you can use a belt. I'm gonna extend the right leg up toward the ceiling. Put the strap on the ball of my right foot, and I'm going to hold on to the strap with the right hand. With my left hand, I'll keep it on my left thigh. This is called Supta Padangusthasana. So we're going to extend up through the leg to lengthen out the hamstrings. Taking a couple breaths here. On my next exhale, I'm going to open the right leg to the right. As I do that, I'll turn my head to the left and keep pressing down onto my left hip. So I want my left hip to stay grounded on the floor. This is a wonderful pose after some back bends, and it's a great way to stretch out the hamstrings. Inhale the leg through center, switch hands with your strap, and exhale, take the leg over to the left side and turn, look over the right shoulder to get a nice spinal twist. And twisting is wonderful for the body. Lots of benefits for twisting. Plus this one's good for digestion as well. Inhale, leg through center. Now I'm going to hold the strap with both hands. Pull the belly in and up. Lift my knee toward my nose and my nose toward my knee. And then slowly release. And release the right leg out. And if you do this in the beginning of class, your right leg feels a lot longer than the left leg. It's really interesting. Bend the left knee. And now we'll take the strap on the ball of the left foot. Extend the left leg up to the ceiling. Flex both feet. My right hand is just going to rest on the right thigh. If your hand gets tired holding the strap, you can also wrap the strap around your hand. So stretching out the hamstrings. Either I'm wrapping the strap, it feels a little more secure. Make sure no tension's creeping up around the shoulders. So inhale here, exhale, open the leg to the left, keep pressing down on the right thigh, and then look over the right shoulder. So our outer hip is opening a little, the inner thigh stretches. Always steadily breathing in and out through the nose the whole time. Inhale the leg through center, switch hands with your strap. Exhale, take it over to the right side for a twist and look over the left shoulder. Again, really nice spinal twisting. So it's kind of like a squeeze and soak action, like if you have a kitchen sponge and you wring it out, that's what happens when you twist your spine. Come back to center and lift up, knee to nose, nose to knee, any amount. Stretch one last time. And then we'll slowly release that and release the leg. Putting my strap off to the side. Hug the knees in, Uttanasana pose. And roll to the right, again carefully coming up, pressing the left hand into the floor. And now we'll take forward fold, but first Dandasana pose, staff pose. So length through the spine, pull the ribs, pull the belly in. If you feel like you're kind of rounding your back a little bit, it's hard to sit up really tall. Grab a blanket, or you can even just fold your mat and roll it up and sit on the rolled part. This way your spine will be nice and long. And when you fold forward, you'll have more length to fold from. So Dandasana is actually a pretty challenging pose if you were to stay here for a while. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, fold forward for Paschimottanasana. So if you can't reach the feet, you can grab that strap or the belt, whatever you have. Extend forward that way. And notice I don't want to round the back here. So notice I want to keep the heart forward. And then my head can just look a little bit forward so that the neck is just an extension of the rest of the spine. I pull the toes back to firm the legs. I lift the belly. I get nice and long through the back of my body and lengthen through the front. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, release the strap. Put it off to the side. Come off my blanket. Put it off to the side. Bend the knees and back onto my back. And then give your right ankle just above the left knee. This is a hip stretch called thread the needle. I'm going to take my hands through and hold on to the left shin, or I can hold on behind the thigh if it's hard to reach the shin. And then try and press your right knee a little bit forward, always flexing the right foot to protect your right knee as you open through the hips. Slowly release and switch. Left ankle just above the right knee, flex your foot. Bring your hands through, hold on to the shin or the thigh on the right side. And you can't really see, but I want to move the left knee a little bit forward so that my knee and my ankle are in the same line across. And that way you can get a nice stretch through the left hip. Make sure you keep flexing the left foot. You can actually flex both feet. Keep them nice and active. And releasing, hugging the knees in. And we'll take our little rock from side to side, and then arms to a T, and take your knees off to the left and look over the right shoulder. If you want a deeper twist, you can cross your right knee on top of the left, but it is kind of a deep twist, so do what's best for you. Breathing in and out through the nose, back to center. Exhale, knees to the left, looking right, and then maybe knees to the right, looking left. Maybe cross the left knee on top of the right. A little spinal twist. Still nice, steady breath in and out through the nose. Inhale through center, hug the knees in one more time. This time lengthen your tailbone toward the floor so your spine is lengthening. And then release the legs out for your final resting pose, Shavasana. So your feet should be about hips width or a little wider apart. arms by your side, your palms up. If your low back bothers you at all in this position, bend the knees, feet on the floor. My low back feels good with straight legs, so I'm going to straighten them out. Soften the shoulders away from the ears, soften the jaw. Just close your eyes and just take a little rest. So allow your body to just sink into the floor, nice and heavy. And just don't even worry about the breath anymore, just natural breathing. Begin to take some longer breaths. Start to make some movements in your fingers and your toes, hands and feet, arms and legs. Take a nice long stretch overhead. There's a sutra, Yogas Chitta Vritti Nirodha, and it means yoga is the cessation of the mental modifications of the mind stuff. So basically, yoga helps to quiet the mind. So hopefully your mind feels a little more quiet. So come back to seated. Bring the hands in front of your heart, palms touch. And then inhale, take your hands to your forehead to remind us to have clear and loving thoughts. Hands to the heart to remind us to have clear and loving intentions. Hands to the mouth to remind us to have clear and loving communications. I honor you for your practice. Namaste.